Leave a like on this video and I'll give you nothing. Come on, man. At least I'm honest. Nah, but what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. And just imagine for a second. Imagine your school is ran by this one kid who is a jerk and feared by everyone. All until one day, a new challenger approaches and threatens his place as king of the middle school. Today, we have a story of power, struggle, girls, and Fortnite. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Yeah, so you're going to enjoy this one, so sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new and like stories, get comfortable, and let's just hop right into this story. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Jamie. So anyways, Jamie was the new kid in town, and Jamie was the new kid in his high school. So this was kind of a stressful first day. I did experience this. My first day in my first day in high school, I didn't know anyone. I was in a new place and it was really tough in the beginning. Eventually I found friends, but it took me a while. And Jamie knew that, the first day, actually this is the first day of middle school, I forgot. Or like the first day of like 7th grade or something. So that means that everyone else at this time has already made friends. They've been in the middle school for a while, and Jamie was the new kid. Being the new kid is very difficult. So when Jamie gets there, he's just like, he's nervous, he's a little bit stressed out, and he's just trying to find new people to meet. So Jamie meets this person who we're going to call Ben, and he's important later on in the story. All you need to know is that him and Jamie are just cool from the start. So anyways, it's lunchtime, and Jamie's honestly just wants to sit down, eat his lunch, and just go to class. Because lunch at the school, it was pretty scary. Like everyone else was at their tables and they were talking. This wasn't like assigned seats or anything, so you could sit wherever you wanted, which kind of implied that like you had to sit with your friends or you were sitting alone or something like that. So Jamie honestly just wanted to, he's like, you know what? It's so early. I don't have friends yet. That's okay though. Like I'm just gonna get my food, sit down, and we'll be good. So Jamie goes and he gets his food and he sits down in a seat and he's eating his food when this kid comes up to him. This kid, we're going to call the bully, right? However, Jamie did not know anything about this kid yet. He only knew that this kid was kind of shorter, kind of bigger. I don't know. That's just kind of like the general description I was given. So this kid's like, hey kid, you're sitting in my seat. He didn't say it like that. He's like, hey kid, you're sitting in my seat. I forgot that we're dealing with like 7th grade bullies and not like legitimate scary people that are like 200 pounds, completely muscle and like 30 years old with like a neck beard or something. But yeah, so Jamie kind of looks up at him, and Jamie, while being new at the school, while being a little scared, he also wasn't about to take no crap from nobody, dude. So he was like, that's tough, man. Like if you get here first, you'll get it next time. And here's the thing, right? Jamie knew nothing about this kid, aka the bully. So the bully was really taken off guard because the bully basically, quote unquote, ran the school. Whatever running the middle school means is whatever running the middle school means. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what that entails. However, right, he was somewhat feared for no real good reason. He wasn't even like that intimidating, or at least Jamie didn't feel like he was that intimidating. But the bully was so taken off guard that someone actually stood up to him that the bully was like kind of like speechless for a second, dude. He had no idea what to say. And he's like, dude, I'm going to give you one more chance to give me back my seat. Like, this is my seat. I come here every day, and this is where me and the boys sit. And Jamie's like, dude, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'll be quick, but I'm not going anywhere. Jamie really could have just gotten up and gone to any other seat, but Jamie also was like, well, I got here first, and like, there's no assigned seats, so sorry, dude. Like, I took your assigned seat. I'm not going anywhere. And little did Jamie know that standing up to the bully was going to be one of the best and worst things he's ever done. It at least, at a minimum, made his life quite eventful for the next couple weeks to come. So after that, his friend Ben, or his new friend Ben, comes up to him. And Jamie, in his head, is like, oh, word, like my new friend Ben is actually being cool and coming up to me. And Ben's like, dude, like I saw what you did at lunch today. And Jamie's like, what did I do at lunch today? Because Jamie honestly didn't think anything of the encounter. Like, I guess maybe if it was a slow day at school, he would have remembered it. But remember, this was Jamie's first day at school. There's so much stuff going on. Something little like that, he's not going to remember necessarily, right? So at this point, Ben comes up to him. He's like, dude, you just stood up to the school bully. Like, everyone's terrified of that kid. Like, if he told me to do something, I would have totally done it. But word's getting around that you stood up to him. At this point, Jamie's like, Oh, crap. Because the thing is, right, Jamie doesn't want a reputation this early. And also a reputation of like, I don't know, he doesn't even know what kind of reputation he's getting. So he kind of asked Ben, he's like, oh, what are people saying? They're saying like the new kid stood up to the bully. Like it's good, man. Like it's a good reputation, but just be warned, like the bully is hearing this as well. And he probably is not a big fan of what he's hearing. So basically, Ben goes on to explain to Jamie that this kid, aka the bully, kind of had this like reputation of being in charge, being like, I don't know, the kingpin of the middle school, whatever that means. And basically, whenever he told someone to do something, they would kind of just do it. And he kind of ran like the whole school by fear. Whatever running the school by fear means when a 7th grader's doing it is whatever that means. So I don't know, man. However, right, apparently this kid was hearing that people were talking about how the new kid stood up to the bully, and the bully was not liking it. So Jamie said, hey, man, I don't think this is going to be your last interaction with the bully. I just wanted to give you a heads up. So Jamie's thinking to himself, dude, I just got to this school. I'm going to have schoolwork. I'm going to have to try and make friends. And on top of that, I'm going to have to deal with internal social politics of the 7th grade. Like, are you serious, man? But whatever, he's like, I didn't choose this fight, but either way, I'm in this fight and I'm in it to win it. So actually later that day, the bully comes up to him at the end of the day, I should specify, and comes up to him and says, hey, man, like, I know we didn't really have a great interaction today at lunch. So I just wanted to set a few things straight around here. I run the school. I don't know if anyone told you about this. And Jamie's just kind of looking at this kid with this look of like, bro. Because I think the thing is, I forgot to say earlier, is Jamie repeated a grade. So Jamie was like the older 8th grader who came in as a 7th grader, right? So he was kind of like the new cool dude that like was in the school or whatever and was kind of new and mysterious or whatever. But Jamie also, since he was older and since this bully was really not that intimidating and since he was new to the culture, he kind of looked at him and kind of gave him like a little bit of a smirk when the bully was like, dude, I run this school, man. Like, you gotta respect. And the bully goes on to say like, what you did today at lunch, like words getting around, and like I just want to let you know that like you might have this kind of like smug like I'm super cool or whatever, but you're not here, man. You're nothing and I'm everything, which was like super weird for someone like that to say. Like, if you're actually super cool and like run the school, are you really telling random people that you're super cool and that you run the school? It's like anyone who's like, oh yeah, I am super great with women and like can't shut up about how good they are. Dude, most of the time they kind of suck. Or anyone who's like, I'm super cool, most of the time you're not. That's just kind of how that stuff goes. And Jamie kind of like interpreted that as such. And he's like, Jamie responds to him because, the bully goes on to say this: I want you to publicly apologize or you will suffer the consequences. And tomorrow at lunch, after you publicly apologize and words get out that you publicly apologized, I don't want to see you anywhere near my table. So Jamie, when he hears this, low-key finds it kind of funny because he's like, bro, what is this kid saying? But then goes on to say like, no, like I'm not apologizing for anything. That's goofy. And also, first come, first serve to the table. If you want that table, you sit there first and I'll let you sit there. But if I get there first, I'm sitting down, I'm enjoying my meal, and that's tough. And he walks away from the bully. And apparently, right, the bully had no idea how to deal with this because the last time anyone has ever gotten this far, the bully literally just threatens him and this kid like collapses. He's like, I'll do whatever you say, Mr. Bully. I'll do whatever you say, man. Please just don't hurt me, dude. Where like, at this point, Jamie's calling this kid's bluff. And this kid, aka the bully, has no idea what to do at this point. So anyways, the next day comes around, and the thing is, Jamie gets out like 5 minutes earlier out of class than the bully does, because I guess the bully's teacher holds him all the way till the bell, but Jamie's teacher before lunch, I guess he's just kind of chill, or he's just really efficient in class. Either way, Jamie consistently gets out 3 to 5 minutes earlier. So the next day, he gets back to lunch, and Jamie's actually intentionally trying to sit down in the place where the bully normally sits just to mess with the kid because he finds it funny. So anyways, the bully comes up right to him at lunch and says once again, he's like, hey man, I get that you're not going to try and publicly apologize, which is whatever. Already the bully was backtracking, but he's like, you're sitting in my seat for the second day in a row. And if you don't want to suffer the consequences, then you should probably get up. And Jamie just kind of looks at this kid. He's like, okay, like, fine, I'll suffer the consequences then. And the bully looks at his two henchmen and says, fine, meet you after school then, whether you want to or not. And they walk away. And Jamie was thinking about it for a second. He's like, I don't want to fight some kid. I've been here for 2 days. Like, my mom would be so mad at me if I got, like, in trouble for that or whatever. And then Jamie was like, yeah, I could definitely take this one kid, this one bully one-on-one, like, easy. But if he's coming with 2 other kids, like, 3v1s in real life are actually pretty difficult. Like, even a 1v1 is hard enough. Like, 3v1, like, that's super unfair. Like, I'm just not trying to have an altercation. So Jamie was like, you know what? I'm still sitting here at lunch because I do what I want. However, I'm not trying to have a 3v1 and get in trouble. Even if I do win, I suffer consequences back home with my mom taking my phone or yelling at me or grounding me or something. So Jamie was like, all right, when I finish up school, I'm gonna get my stuff quickly and then I'm gonna walk home promptly. Unfortunately for Jamie, though, as the bell rung and he was getting his stuff together, he was walking out to the front when 3 guys confronted him, the bully and his 2 henchmen. And the bully said, I don't think you're going anywhere until we have a little talk, man. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment bully down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. I'll try and heart as many people who comment that down below. And also, if you want to support the channel and support the community we got going on here, the best thing you can do is just finish watching this video. If you watch my videos all the way to the end, you are like the #1 supporter of this channel, and I thank you so much. And also, if you want to keep helping after you're done watching this video, literally go ahead and watch my old videos. Like, binge watch the old videos. I got playlists for you guys with different types of stories, or you can just go to my channel page and watch as many of those as you want. Please let me know in the comments section down below how many of those videos you've watched today or this week, or what you're doing while watching my videos. Dude, it really helps me out so much, and I love seeing comments of people saying that. I will try and heart and reply to them because you guys are really supporting the channel more than you even know. So just once again, thank you. Like, really, thank you. Yes, you. Parasocial relationship time. I'm speaking to you. I'm playing. But thank you guys, seriously. Let's get back to the story. So Jamie right now is confronted by both the bully and his 2 henchmen. And the bully's like, all right, man, you see how this is? It's going to be a 3v1 and you're not going to win this. Like, you better submit now. And he takes out his phone. He's like, I'm going to record you, and you're going to say, I'm sorry, Mr. Bully. It says his actual name, right? I'm sorry, Mr. Bully. Like, I've been a bad boy, and you're right. Like, you're like the #1 guy, and I'm the worst. I suck, and I apologize, and you are king of the school. Like, the bully was asking, what did I call it? Jamie, right. Jamie was the name of one of my close friends in middle school. Like, yeah, dude. I miss that guy. I hope he's doing well. No, but for real though, Jamie was like, dude, I'm not saying that. Like, he was asking Jamie to say like the most degrading, ridiculous stuff ever. So the bully actually starts recording. He's like, I'm recording, say it. And Jamie looks at him and says, okay. Hi, my name is Jamie, and I just want to say the bully over here is a massive P word. And like the only way that he would fight me is a 3v1. And even then, he's probably too scared to suffer the consequences. He has no control over the school. And bully stops recording. He's like, hey, that's not what I told you to say. Like, say what I said. And Jamie's like, no. Like, all right, guys, come and fight me. Come and 3v1 beat me up. Yeah, like, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, nothing's really going to show that you're boss when like 3 of you fight 1 of me and still lose, because I'm actually pretty good at this and you guys have no idea what you're doing. And when Jamie said that, the 2 bullies henchmen kind of look at each other, because the truth is, and the one truth that Jamie didn't know but kind of was starting to understand, was that the bully and the people that that worked with the bully, aka his henchmen, they never actually did anything. Like, they never fought anyone. They never actually did anything that serious. And the only reason why that they were like feared is because they threatened to do so. So Jamie was calling their bluff. And when Jamie said, you guys will probably still lose because I'm pretty good at like this or whatever, the kids were kind of starting to get a little nervous, because Jamie was the mysterious older kid who came into school, right? Like, maybe he actually came from like a much tougher neighborhood or much tougher school before, and he actually is being like honest. He also has like a couple 1 or 2 years on them, and you know, when you're in 7th grade to 8th grade, like you're in a pretty big growth spurt. So this kid's probably got like this kid's probably maybe is actually much stronger, and if he's actually skilled, you know, the bully was starting to reconsider what he was saying, right? And the bully's like, dude, you don't want a 3v1, man, like. And he like looks at his henchmen, and the henchmen were very clearly backing away. Like they were trying to back out of this. So the bully's like, you know what? We're going to let you go today. And we're only going to let you go because we don't want to humiliate you. We don't want to humiliate you because you're the new kid. And Jamie knew for a fact that they were not trying to not humiliate him. They were simply just trying not to get beat up themselves, because nothing would like destroy his like facade of being like in charge and strong and capable and feared or whatever if he lost a 3v1 to the new kid, right? Like that would be so embarrassing. So Jamie's like, all right, boys, like I'll see you later. And they're just like, shut up, man. Like we're letting you go because we have mercy. Don't tempt us because we will come back. Yeah, so Jamie was not scared that much. The next day, Jamie comes to school, and he's about to put his backpack in his locker when he takes a whiff of this horrible smell. And no, he's not the Minecraft kid from the last video that I posted earlier today. It's a whiff of, like, garbage. And he's like, what? He opens up his locker, because the thing is, the lockers here didn't lock. They didn't have locks on them, so anyone could go into anyone else's locker. It was kind of a bad system, but whatever, right? I don't know why they did it that way. They just did it that way. Maybe because like there was an incident where a kid got shoved in there and locked or something. I don't know, man. But he opens it up, and there's a big pile of like a bag of like garbage in there. So basically, the bully or one of the bully's henchmen must have gone into like the dumpster or something and grabbed one of the garbage bags, probably full of like rotting stuff that smelled really bad, and put it in this kid's locker. So a lot of times, you know, the bullies probably thought that like, oh, he's gonna fold now. Like he knows that we can put stinky stuff in his locker. No way, he wants to keep messing with us, right? Wrong. So basically, bro, Jamie in his old school, like there would be kids that would do this stuff all the time. And by the way, I'm not endorsing that. In fact, it's a very bad thing to do. Don't do anything like that. Just because I'm telling it a story doesn't mean you should do it. You'll get in a lot of trouble. Anyways, Jamie's like, okay, bet. He takes the bag of like crap or whatever, and he walks over, finds the bully's locker, and just shoves it in there, slams the door, right? He's like, all right, two can play at this game. Sure, Jamie's locker still smelled pretty bad because like, I don't know, the trash bag was in there for a while. It probably leaked a little bit, but now so did the bully's locker. He's like, eye for an eye, baby, like nice try. So once again, Jamie gets out a little early from class, and he sits down in the kid's lunch spot, which honestly is kind of becoming Jamie's lunch spot at this time. And the bully comes up to him, and he's furious. He's like, why would you do that to my locker? Like, that's, like, you're ridiculous. And Jamie's like, bro, you guys put it in mine. He's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can put it in mine. Jamie's like, dude, what? Like, by what logic? And the bully's obviously just so mad. He is so mad at this point. And the bully's like, starts to get everyone's attention. So like, he's like, hey, everyone, listen up. And immediately everyone turns around. They all snap their necks to look at him, right? And because at this point, the bully still had a bit of like, while his like reign of terror was definitely being questioned, everyone still would pay attention if the bully was to yell at them to pay attention, right? So everyone turns around and looks at this kid. And he's like, you know, I am calling out Jamie to a 1v1 fight at the end of the day. If he doesn't show up, then he's, you know, a B-word, bro. And everyone's like, ew. Okay, they're all kind of like silent or talking or whatever. And at this point, Jamie's like, just kind of says like, all right, I'll see you then. And the bully's face just goes blue. He's so scared. I think the bully, I don't know why the bully didn't learn by this time that Jamie was going to call him on his bluff every single frickin' time that the bully pulled a bluff, right? Every single time he tried to say something to look big, Jamie was going to call him out on it. And I don't know why the bully even thought that, but yeah, so word spread of this like new kid versus bully fight super quickly. Word got around the school, and also they had a set location and a set time. So when the time came around, the bully kind of like, the bully and Jamie showed up there, and Jamie's like, you know what, as long as it's a 1v1, and after, because like Jamie kind of knew that, he was probably going to win this. And obviously, first of all, I have to say it again, don't fight in school. Don't fight anyone. You're kind of an idiot if you do, because the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get in trouble. Even Jamie told me, because he submitted this to my Instagram, you can submit stories as well there. It's in the description. He also said, like, he was an idiot for even saying that he'd do this, even though he didn't, as you'll see in a sec. So anyways, just clearly, I don't endorse this, and you're an idiot if you didn't do this, okay? That's my opinion. Anyways, Jamie goes there, and the bully goes there, and they're there after school. Basically, at the end of school, they were going to meet up at the, at behind the lockers in the A wing or something. And there's a ton of kids there. Like, when Jamie gets there, the bully isn't there yet, but there's a sea of kids, a huge sea of kids, all waiting for Jamie and the bully to duke it out, to decide who is really going to be king of the middle school, right? But when they get there, Jamie gets there and the bully gets there. And Jamie's like, all right, man, looks like you didn't bring your henchmen this time. And the bully's like, well, I don't need to, man. This is going to be a 1v1, and it's going to be a clean 1v1. And Jamie's like, all right, cool. And he starts to, like, move in on the kid. But that's when the whole thing turned out to be, the whole thing got raided by the principal and the other, like, faculty there. Because, as I said earlier, word got out. And word got out pretty quickly. And when word gets out, like, it can definitely get out to the teachers as well. And also, there's like a huge sea of kids at a random place and a random time at the school. Like, these teachers weren't born yesterday. They were born many yesterdays ago. And they've seen many things like this in their past. So immediately the teachers, like, point out Jamie and the bully and say, you two come with us. Immediately everyone else disperses, because, like, they don't want to get caught in this trouble or whatever. And Jamie and the bully are brought to the front desk, right? Or the front office, or the principal's office, or whatever like that. So the principal, like, is, like, berating both of them, saying, like, this is ridiculous. You guys are in 7th grade. Like, if you guys had an issue, like, you should have talked it out. The fact that you'd even consider violence like this is ridiculous. One of you guys, or both of you guys, could have gotten hurt. And either way, even though nothing happened, you guys are still both getting in big trouble. But just know, if you actually did fight it out, you guys would have gotten in even bigger trouble, maybe even expelled from the school, stuff like this, kind of going on and on and on. So anyways, eventually they leave the two in a room alone, which is a little weird to me. I feel like if I was in, like, a teacher or something and I caught two kids about to fight, I wouldn't be like, guys, you're getting in trouble. Oh, by the way, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to leave you two in a room alone. Like, that sounds pretty goofy to me, but then again, whatever. So they're sitting in this room, and the bully looks at Jamie and says, I think there's another way we can fight this out. And Jamie's like, all right, man, I'm all ears. And this story happened in 2018, 2019, around that time period. And around that time period, there is a little indie game, a small little game that you might have heard of called Fortnite. Yeah, and that was pretty popular among all the kids, especially all the guys really liked it. I know back when I was in high school, because, like, in my freshman year of high school, Fortnite came out. It was incredibly popular. I never got into it, so pardon me if the terminology I use in the rest of this video is a little bit off. I never got super into it, so I might get some stuff wrong. But yeah, basically the bully says, like, there's another way we settle things at this school. He's like, do you play Fortnite? Which, like, after these two kids were about to fight it out, dude. And all of a sudden, like, 30 minutes later, the kid's like, dude, do you play Fortnite? Yeah, but anyways, the kid's like, do you play Fortnite? And Jamie was actually pretty cracked at it. Kid was pretty good. Jamie's like, yeah, I'm actually pretty good. And I don't really know how Fortnite mechanics work. Maybe they played on a map. I don't know how they did it, but they somehow played, like, a tournament where they were both in the same game. I know you queue in with, like, 100 people or something and you fight to the death. Somehow they were able to queue in together, or they knew a way where they could queue in together. And basically, right, the kid says, hey, I'm going to announce to the whole school that you and I are going to have our 1v1, not in real life, but on Fortnite. Basically, whoever wins the map, or whoever gets first placed, or whoever doesn't die out of the two of us, or dies first, loses. And, like, we're going to stream it to everyone on Twitch, and, like, the whole school will be watching, and that will decide everything. And the bully really thought that this was, like, a walk in the park for him, because he was pretty good at Fortnite. But little did he know that this new kid, right, Jamie, was also pretty solid when it came to Fortnite as well. So the bully got the word to spread pretty quickly that the fight was stopped by the teachers and that, like, you know, it probably wouldn't be able to happen because they were now both on very thin ice and it wasn't worth it. And that, in fact, that they were going to have their fight for who was going to be in charge of the school on Twitch, on Fortnite, this Saturday at 2 p.m., baby. Let's go. Yeah, and Jamie was kind of like... okay, in all fairness, Jamie said that he thought the thing was pretty, like, goofy, that deciding who's going to be in charge of the 7th grade was decided because of, like, a Fortnite match. But at the same time, Jamie wasn't complaining because he was like, I would rather do this than actually have a physical altercation with a kid. Like, that's the goofier thing. Like, Jamie Loki thinks that, like, that would be the goofier thing out of the two because you're fighting some kid over, like, nothing. Might as well just fight him in Fortnite, right? So for that entire week, Jamie was like, okay, I actually got to prepare. So Jamie was watching like Fortnite videos of how to get really good. He was practicing with some friends. He had this friend who he used to go to school with who was like legitimately could have gone pro if he really wanted to. Like he was that good. He learned how to like build. He learned how to get his aim really good. And he was already really good in the first place, but he just got like 50% better in the space of like 5 days. Like he went really all in. However, on the other hand, the bully was very confident. I think he played once before the match. He was like, you know what? I'm going to rest up. I'm going to rest up, get some good sleep, so I'll be nice and focused or whatever. So yeah, eventually the day comes, and Jamie already had like a Twitch account or whatever. So did the bully. So they just like, is like the links of their streams got passed around a lot. And the whole plan was like, you know, the idea was that like both sides couldn't watch each other. However, Jamie had his friend from his old school come over, as well as Ben, the kid that like was friends with him earlier. They would watch like the bully's stream and give them insights or whatever, because he knew for a fact that the bully would have friends watching Jamie's stream. So they both start streaming and they both queue in a game together. I don't know exactly how they did that because I don't know the mechanics, but they somehow found a way to do it. Maybe it's very easy, maybe it's very hard. Either way, what you got to know is they found a way to fight each other in Fortnite, right? So immediately there's like 40 people on each stream, which might not sound like a lot. Like you're like, oh, Ninja had 200,000 or something. Dude, there's only 100 kids in their class, and they knew for a fact that the only kids really watching were the kids at their school. So like that means that like 80% of the kids in their class are probably watching, which is insane. So yeah, they're going in the game, they're fighting around, and eventually it gets down to 2 people, Jamie and the school bully. So they're both kind of like, you know, they're building up, they're sniping at each other, they're playing the map. Remember, dude, I can only speak on this so much because I don't know Fortnite terms that well. And like at this point, Ben is watching the bully and he's like, he's behind, I don't know, Tilted Towers. I just know that's a place, I don't know. Or he's like, he's behind the rock, or he's in the trees or something like that. So Ben is giving him directions and the bully and like Jamie is trying to like find him. But Jamie also knows that the bully has kids watching Jamie's stream, probably giving the bully directions as well. Eventually, it's a clear 1v1. They're having a shootout. You know, Jamie's, his aim got really good, so he's hitting his shots. The bully's trying to build up and deflect and trying to like hide inside of his house or whatever. But then it's too late. Jamie gets a clean headshot. I don't know if headshots do anything in Fortnite, but either way, he gets the clean shot and it's over. The bully is lost and Jamie has won. So Jamie's like, oh, word, okay. And eventually, so like a lot of people in chat are like, WWW, like new king of the 7th grade, whatever, right? And in the bully's chat, it's like LL ratio default dance. Like, like it was pretty funny, right? So they get into school the next day, and Jamie sits down in his lunch spot, and the bully comes up to him, and the bully looks so disheveled. Or not the next day, I should say Monday, because it was Saturday. So 2 days later, you know, the bully's all disheveled. He's like, he comes up to him, looks like he hasn't slept in weeks, and it's like, or not in weeks, but in like days. It's like he's been up ever since then. He's like, this isn't over, man. I'm still king of the school. I'm still in charge. People are still scared of me. Who cares what like happened in a Fortnite game? People still know that you're a nobody, and people still know that I run this school. And Jamie just kind of looks at him. And Jamie's like, all right, then run the school then. And this was the ultimate bluff call, because the thing is, the bully was always talking about how he ran the school and how he was in charge and how he was feared. So Jamie decided to call his bluff on his entire act. And he said, fine, run the school then. go ahead. If you run the school, then do it. Like, everyone's afraid of you, apparently, so make everyone afraid. And the bully just kind of goes blue in his face. He starts sweating. He's like, I don't need to prove anything to you. And Jamie's like, cool. I don't care. It's 7th grade. I don't care about these stupid labels anyways. Like, I'm not goofy like you are. And this kid is like sweating buckets at this point. He's like, this won't be the end of this. This won't be the end of this. Like, you better watch your back, man, because when you least expect it, I will be there. And
it's always so exciting.
how's it going, everyone? Today we have a story of one of the cringiest emo kids of all time, so sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're calling today's subscriber who submitted the story Brent. So this all happened when Brent was at soccer camp. And so Brent went to the soccer camp every single year, and it just happened that this year he encountered the emo kid at soccer camp. So anyways, this was just another summer of Brent going to soccer camp. His mom dropped him off, and once again, he was pretty excited to go. Unfortunately, some of the friends he made from the year before, they didn't show up this time, so he was very proactive about finding people, meeting new people, and trying to make some new friends. So anyways, in the very beginning of soccer camp, they had kind of a get to know other people type deal. And all of a sudden, right, Brent sees this girl, and she was at kind of like the girls' soccer camp. So it was kind of split up like boys' soccer camp and girls' soccer camp. However, it was all under the same umbrella of like the soccer camp program. So they would eat lunch together, do non-soccer activities, but like the morning soccer practices were kind of split up by gender like that. And so anyways, right away, Brent saw this girl, Emily, and he immediately kind of fell in love with her. Not actually, but was like, OMG, lol, she's cute. I'm going to try and hit. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, I don't know. He's like, he's gone to soccer camp. He's not trying to hit, bro. That's crazy. But anyways, right, so she's going to be an important character later on. But for the meantime, we don't need to think about her because someone much more important comes into the picture. So while Brent is thinking about like, oh my God, look at that girl over there. I got to start talking to her. That's crazy. He accidentally bumps into this guy and he turns around. This guy is like, I don't know, a little bit bigger than him, a little bit heavier than him, just like kind of a bigger guy. And he's got this like long black hair that's swooshed over. He's wearing like the standard soccer cleats, but otherwise it's like this black band heavy metal t-shirt. He's got like black painted nails. He's got like a spiky wristband on or whatever. And he turns around. He's like, yo, what did you bump into me, bro? And Brent's like, oh, my fault. Like, didn't mean to do that. And he's like, you don't think that I'm an alpha? Is that what you think? Brent's like, what? He's like, I'm an alpha male, just in case you weren't aware, which I know that you subconsciously were because, all betas instantly know when there's an alpha present. And Andrew was the guy from like 7 stories ago. Brent was like, what? He's like, bro, do you not know what beta males and alpha males are? Well, basically, beta males are like you and lame, and alpha males are strong, powerful, and dominant in the pack. And with that, like the emo kid does a big like swipe of his big long black hair. So like his bangs would no longer cover his eyes. It immediately fell back in front of his face. He's like, yeah, just so you know, kid, get out of my way. And the emo kid like shuffles away. And this was Brent's first interaction with the emo kid. So he's like, okay, that's cool, man. Like, okay, see you around, buddy. Bye-bye. So anyways, let's fast forward a little bit. After soccer practice in the morning, Brent was actually one of the better kids there. He was pretty good at soccer. They had lunch, and in the afternoon, they had activities such as like this, like, I don't know, like tag, capture the flag, all kind of like random camp activities. And today was capture the flag, and Brent happened to be on the same team as Emily. So immediately he goes over there. He's like, hey, how's it going? Like, my name is Brent. Emily's like, hey, like, my name's Emily. Nice to meet you. And Brent and Emily immediately hit it off. They're having a good time. They're talking with each other. They're enjoying each other's company. You simply love to see it. And like from very far away, Brent catches the eye of the emo kid who's on the other team and is just staring him down for some reason. Brent doesn't really think much of it, and then he goes back to talking to Emily. So they're playing capture the flag right now, and Brent, runs over to the other side. gets the flag, right, and starts running back to his side. If you don't know, capture the flag, there's like this little penny on both sides or like a little piece of cloth or something. And while you're on the opponent's side, if they tag you, you're in jail. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to run over there, grab their flag, and run back to your side without being tagged. However, there was a stipulation that it had to be a tag. This isn't tackling. You can't push someone. You can't like punch them or anything. You have to tag them if they're on your side. So, you know, Brent is running over there. Sorry, I have a list of names in front of me and from other stories. Brent is running over there. He grabs the enemy team's flag and is running back to his side. And he's really close when he just like immediately slams into the ground. And that's when he realizes that there's a big guy on top of him. And that's when he realizes that the emo kid tackled him. So the emo kid's like, nice try, buddy. Next time, try not to fight the alpha males. And then camp counselor comes over and says, hey, we said no tackling. You're on the sidelines, points to the emo kid, you know, he's disqualified or whatever, has to sit on the sidelines. Ooh, so alpha, man. But anyways, right, so the penny's returned, but also Brent isn't in, like, jail. He goes back to the other side, and the emo kid has to sit out for the rest of Capture the Flag. And Brent continues to talk to Emily, and the entire time, the emo kid is just, like, looking over, and he's, like, all angrily staring at Brent. So Brent is now his official enemy. Brent kind of just assumed that they were enemies because of when he bumped into him and also when he got him disqualified, which, did Brent really get him disqualified, or was it because he's an idiot and jumped on him? That's why he got disqualified? Who knows, man? But there was another reason why the emo kid hated Brent. There was another reason that Brent did not realize at the moment, but was very, very, very potent, and is going to be very, very important for later on in the story. I'm gonna give you guys a hint. It starts with an E and ends with a Emily. Did you guys get it? Starts with an E and ends with a Emily. Emily, I'm just going to tell you, yeah, it is Emily, the girl. So emo kid likes her. Anyways, so Brent and Emily talk for the rest of that Capture the Flag game. The entire time the emo kid is staring Brent down. Brent just simply assumes, well, this kid hates me for that reason only. But let me just say that the next week of soccer camp was the craziest week that Brent has ever had. So anyways, right, his mom picks him up. He goes back home. His mom's like, hey, how was the first day? And Brent says, oh, I met this really weird kid who tackled me. And she's like, oh my God, are you okay? He's like, yeah, actually, I have barely any scrapes on me even. But he seems to not like me, so I'll keep you updated on that. So Brent is dropped off the next day, and he walks over there. And that's when the emo kid, you know, is just staring him down. And, you know, Brent is kind of walking over because there's a little bit of like a 5, 10, 15-minute period where the kids are just standing around talking with each other, waiting for them all to be dropped off. And then the soccer camp officials or camp counselors would then split them up into groups, do soccer drills, play games, whatever, standard kind of affair. And he's just kind of waiting around. And that's when the emo kid comes up to him and says, so you're challenging my authority as the alpha man. And Brent is kind of just like, what? He's like, I'll say it again, just in case your little beta ears couldn't hear me. So you're challenging my authority that I am the alpha male of the pack. If we were wolves, which we kind of are, and Brent was like, what? If we were wolves, as we kind of are, as I said, I would be the alpha male, alpha wolf, and you would be the beta wolf, and I would be banging your wife while you watch little cuck beta wolf. Whoa. And Brent is looking at this kid, and this kid is like, no offense, but this kid is like the opposite of what a stereotypical alpha male would look like, right? One of those red pit alpha males. It just looks the complete opposite of that. But anyways, Brent's not gonna get into like he's not gonna rebuttal this kid, because like, what is there to rebuttal? Everything, man. Like this kid has no argument. But anyways, Brent's like, okay, and the emo kid's like, well, you say okay, but remember yesterday when you got me kicked out of the game, which you obviously tipped off the ref? And Brent's like, bro, you tackled me. It's very clearly stated in the rule books that you're not allowed to tackle anyone. How is this on me? He's like, dude, it was so clearly on you because the ref understood that I was the alpha male and I was simply asserting my dominance, bro. And, you know, Brent's just like, dude, the frick are you talking about, dude? Like, I paid him off with what? The $5 allowance I get a week? With what? My used smelly, stinky socks? what do I have? And he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you took his daughter on a date because his daughter's so ugly she'd never get a date. Oh. And Brent's like, was that a diss? Like, does he even have a daughter? He's like 20, bro. What? And the emo kid's like, anyways, I just wanted to let you know that I'm the alpha man. You're the beta man. I will do your wife when you have one. And scene. And the emo kid walks away. And Brent at this point is like, what? Why? Why is this my life? Anyway, so skip forward to the soccer practice. They're put into groups, and the emo kid was in group B earlier, so they basically split them up into group A and group B. So the group A is the better players, and group B is the I'm just kidding, the players who are newer to soccer. And the emo kid apparently was on the cusp of group A. It was at the very top of group B, and because his performance was good enough, he was actually moved up to group A. So now Brent, instead of having a morning to himself to focus on soccer, now had to deal with the emo kid being, thrown into the mix here. So anyways, they're doing some drills with the soccer ball, and they're kind of like kicking them around cones. You had to kind of keep control of the ball while you were running. And the emo kid, like they said, okay, line up into 3 groups. And the emo kid immediately ran behind Brent. And Brent kind of looks behind him. He's like, what? And the emo kid said, nothing, Brent. Just letting you know that I'm the alpha male here. And Brent's like, okay, fine. Let's just do the drill. So the ref blows the whistle. Brent starts kicking the ball and moving with it. And the emo kid immediately runs up behind him and trips him. He's like, oh, sorry. And the ref's like, hey. And the emo kid's like, it was an accident, I swear. And the ref's like, all right, be careful. And Brent is starting to get really angry because, if you get an injury in soccer, especially if you get like a foot injury, he could be out for the entire week. I mean, this is like one of his favorite camps that he has every single summer. He loves going to it. It's one of his favorite things to do. And this emo kid, for the second time in the last 24 hours, has, has gotten really close to causing him a pretty big injury. He could have jumped, he jumped on him yesterday. He ran behind him, knocking him over. What if he twisted an ankle? What if he, fractured something in his leg? It's not that hard, especially when you got a big old kid jumping on top of you every 5 minutes. It's difficult. It's not that difficult, man. So anyways, Brent, for the next activity, waits to get into line before the emo kid does, because he doesn't want to be in the same line as the emo kid. But it turns out that everyone else lines up, and it's literally just Brent and the emo kid waiting for each other to move, because the Brent wants to go where the emo kid doesn't go, and the emo kid wants to go where Brent goes. And the refs not the refs, but the soccer coaches are like, come on, kind of like, guys, get into line. And Brent's like, okay. And he sprints to the end of the line, and then the emo kid sprints to the back of that line. And the coach is like, emo kid, says his actual name, can you go to another line? That line's too long. And the emo kid's like, okay, moves over one line. And when the coach turns his head, the emo kid literally runs back into the line with Brent again. So when the coach turns around, he's like, wait, emo kid, I said, could you go to that line? And he's like, fine. Emo kid eventually goes to that line, actually does that. So for the rest of soccer practice, the emo kid tried to bump into Brent, tried to make his life difficult, basically was just being a big butt the entire time. But thankfully, that nothing really happened. He didn't bump into Brent successfully again. In fact, the emo kid, most of the time when he tried to bump into Brent would do some very slick soccer move, kind of break his ankles, not literally, but you know what I mean. And the emo kid would fall flat on his face because he kind of tried to run into Brent, and then Brent sidestepped him and completely swerved out of his way. Anyways, though, things start to get a little bit more interesting because throughout the next day, Brent and Emily are talking it up. It's kind of like the known thing for the camp that those two were kind of the unofficial soccer camp couple. I don't know if your camps had stuff like that, but this was true for the soccer camp. And word was that the two of them, they were gonna kiss soon. Oh my God, guys, isn't that 12th base or something? So sure enough, right, one of these days, so a day later, Emily and Brent are just sitting with each other at lunch. They're kind of on a quote unquote date or whatever. And that's when a girl comes over and sits next to them. And Emily's like, oh, this is my friend Robin. And Robin's like, hey guys, I just want to let you know, Emily, that the kid over there, and points to the emo kid, is planning to ask you out soon. And Emily's like, dude, I don't know that kid. I've never spoken to him in my life. And Brent's like, oh my God, I know exactly who that kid is. Emily's like, what? And Brent basically tells her the story that I told you guys for the last 13 minutes. And she's like, oh my God, he's the worst. And Brent's like, well, that would explain why he really hates me too, because like, not just that I embarrassed him, but I've been hanging out with you the entire time. And, you know, he probably knows that we've been talking a lot. And Emily laughs a little bit. And this is when Robin says, dude, like, I'm serious. This kid is going to come over and ask you out within like the next 24 hours. He's going to do it publicly. It's going to be really embarrassing. Everyone's told him not to do it, but he's in his own world. You got to let him down nicely though. And you know, Brent was like, no mercy. Make him suffer. Emily's like, Brent, I'm not going to make him suffer. I don't know this kid. Brent's like, make him suffer. Emily's like, shh. Okay, I'm going to be nice. When he comes over, I'm going to be firm, I'm going to be direct, but I'm going to be nice about it, I'm going to be cordial, and life is going to go back to what it was before. So sure enough, right, Brent now realizes that the emo kid has a massive crush on Emily. And Brent also starts to think about it. When Emily says no to him, and when she starts really, you know, hanging out with me more, and when word gets around that we kiss, because we totally are, this is in Brent's head, right, he's going to actually, like, ramp up the craziness even more than it already is. I think I'm screwed, boys. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment emo down below. I'm going to heart as many comments as I can that say that. That is the secret word of the day. And also, if you want to support the channel and help boost me back into the algorithm, all you got to do is at some point, maybe after this video, maybe later, sit down and watch a bunch of my videos in a row, maybe while you're playing video games or drawing or cleaning a room, or maybe to help you go to sleep. I take that as a compliment now. I understand it. Leave in the comment section down below how you're helping boost the channel. I will heart it, I will say thank you, and I'll even shout some people out, like the person on screen right now. Thank you to this person on screen and all of you guys for all the support recently. It's really helped boost the channel. We're growing again. You'll love to see it. Let's get back to the story. So anyways, flash forward to that night, or not that night, but that afternoon. Remember when this is the mixed gender, just fun, more camp activities, they're playing dodgeball. And sure enough, you know, the emo kid and Brent actually happen to be on the same team this time. So like emo kid and Brent, they're picking up the dodgeballs, they're throwing them, you know, they're trying to avoid being hit by the dodgeballs. And the emo kid walks over and is like, "Sup, bro?" And Brent's like, "What?" Emo kid's like, "I just want to let you know that, like, I know that you and Emily, or you have been trying to flirt with Emily, and it's been failing horribly from my sources, at least that's what my sources said. And I just want to let you know that, you know, I let you have your fun. I let you play like the little beta little lamb you are. But I'm actually going to come in and, as the alpha male, assert my dominance and claim what is mine. Emily shall be my girlfriend by the end of tomorrow. Mark my words, and I will watch as little tears roll down your face because you're so sad that I took your girl. Oh, little Brent, I'm so sorry." Brent's like, "Dude, she's not gonna, I've talked to her, she's gonna say no. Don't do it. I hate you, but I know for a fact that you're gonna get rejected in front of everyone." The emo kid's like, "Nice try, little boy. I know for a fact that my testosterone is 10 trillion and yours is 0. So based on that alone, plus a billion other factors, such as my manliness, my alpha maleness, my swag, overall levels, and a billion more things, just she will obviously say yes to me. And even if you two are fake dating, she'll break up with you immediately to say yes to me. I just know some things that you don't know, Brent. Get over it." So the emo kid walks away. And Brent's like, "Well, you know, my conscience is clear because I tried to warn the kid not to do it. I tried to warn the kid, right? I'm not a bad guy. I told him not to do it. I told him. I said, I even gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said, I don't like you, but I want to help you here. He didn't listen to me. It's not my fault, whatever happens tomorrow." Next day rolls around. At soccer practice, the emo kid for the entire morning is like, Brent, better spend the last moments with Emily as you can because she's about to be my girlfriend. Oh, and Brent's like, "Dude, shut up, dude." He's like, "Oh my God, am I getting to you, man? Am I getting to you, man? Oh man, it was so easy to break your thin, weak
beta skin. Oh my god, my words are hurting you so much. I'm gonna lick up your little salty tears. They're so tasty and so good. And Brent's like, shut up, bro. You're gonna get embarrassed. I can't wait for the moment. She better go hard. Anyways, flash forward to lunch. The moment. So anyways, Brent is sitting with Emily, and Emily's like, dude, the emo kid, I can't see him anywhere. And Brent's like, dude, he's gonna ask you out. It's happening. Get over it. It's gonna happen any second. She's like, he's gonna do it the next day, which means probably now in front of everyone. And, you know, Brent's like, that's what he said he would do. And Brent was like, oh my God, don't turn around. Because Brent was looking, and the emo kid was walking over. And what was he walking over with? He was walking over with a boom box. You already know where this is going. And Brent's like, you know what? Brace yourself. Try and have an out-of-body experience right now so you don't have to deal with what's about to happen. This is about to be bad, Emily. I'm so sorry. And Emily's like, oh my God, oh my God. And that's when you start to hear music. It's the emo kid's personal band. So it's like this heavy metal rock band. So just imagine some like heavy metal rock going in the background. And the lyrics are, Emily, Emily, why do you hang with losers like Brent? Emily, please love me. Yeah. And it's just kind of like more stuff like that in the background. And the emo kid is like rocking out by himself with an air guitar while this is all going on. It is the worst moment of Brent's life because the secondhand embarrassment is so strong, he's basically getting firsthand embarrassment from the whole thing. Everyone has stopped eating and turned around, including the camp counselors. They're just watching this kid bounce around with an air guitar with his like super long black bangs flying all around the place as this boombox plays one of the crappiest songs they've ever heard, terribly mixed, the worst lyrics, basically saying that Brent sucks and that she should be in love with him, and he's bouncing around, and then after 5 whole excruciating minutes, and everyone at this point is laughing and trying to hold themselves together, after 5 whole long excruciating minutes of the worst music ever and some like really bad air guitar and bouncing around, the song stops and the emo kid says, Emily, it is clear who you shall choose. What is your verdict? And Emily's like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. I'm not going out with you. Emo kid's like, that's hilarious. What's your actual verdict? Emily's like, dude, I don't know you. He's like, dude, that's hilarious. What's your actual verdict? And Brent's like, all right, man, that's enough. Let's concede while we're behind. The emo kid looks at Brent and says, this isn't over, man. And he walks away with his boombox. And Brent's like, why did he say that to me? I didn't dump him. And Emily's like, dude, that was worse than I could have ever imagined. And right, so Robin, the friend who warned them, came over again and said, look, I should have warned you about that. I didn't think it was real. I didn't even think that was actually going to happen. I was told earlier this morning and I laughed. I'm so sorry. I should take anything that you hear about this kid seriously from this point on because, oh my God. And Emily's like, wait. Oh no, we still have an activity tonight, this afternoon. And Brent's like, oh my God, he said this isn't over. And sure enough, it was far from over. So they get to the activity that afternoon. So it was probably the worst possible activity that it could have been because it was small groups of charades. They kind of ran out. They had something else planned, but since it started to rain, they had to go inside. So they're like, all right, we're going to break you off into small groups of 3. And we're going to have you play charades with each other. And at this point, they're like, okay, what are the odds? Brent's like, what are the odds that I'm put with? And the person says, Brent, Emily, and emo kid. And Brent's like, you got to be joking, man. You got to be joking. Apparently, right, Robin tells him this, later on, once the camp is over. Apparently, because she was talking with one of the camp counselors about everything that went down. The camp counselor said that, once, it started to rain, the emo kid went up to them and asked what they were doing. Camp counselor said, oh, we're doing small groups of charades. And the emo kid requested that his 2 best friends and him were put together in a group. So it wasn't just random, it was the emo kid. But Brent didn't know that at the time. So Brent looks at Emily, and Emily looks at Brent. And they're both basically just like, oh boy, And they both look at the emo kid, who has a massive smile on his face. So all three of them go away to a corner. And the emo kid's like, Emily, I might have came on too strong. And she's like, well, that's an understatement. But he's like, I will show you the truth. Brent, I challenge you to an alpha battle. Brent's just like, what's an alpha battle? Ha! You're such a beta for not knowing what an alpha battle is. Beta. He's like, an alpha battle will be proof that I am alpha and you are a weak beta. And then Emily will choose me. And Emily's like, I'm not. And he's like, wait, your heart will tell you otherwise after the alpha battle. Emily's like, okay, I'm still not going to. She's like, God, stop, silence, woman. And Brent was like, whoa, chill out, dude. He's like, you silence too? We're having an alpha battle right now. So, right, this just kind of looks like they're doing really weird charades from afar, but the emo kid is like, all right, let's form our best wolf poses. Brent's like, what? He said, form your best wolf poses now. And Brent's like, all right. Ooh, emo kid's like, that is the worst wolf pose I've ever seen. You were definitely not part wolf like I am. And the emo kid does this really weird pose. He's like, oh my God, I'm wolfing so hard right now. This is the most emo thing. I mean, the most the most alpha thing I've ever done. Oh my God. At this point, Emily's like, guys, you are both embarrassing yourselves. Emo kid is like, no, you will see that I'm the most alpha. I swear. Emo kid's like, all right, let's do it. Wrestle me. And, Brent's like, what? Emo kid jumps on top of him, just tackles him to the ground. Because he's like 20 pounds heavier, right? And a little bit taller. And Brent was completely taken off guard. He's like, bro, stop. What are you doing? And the emo kid's like, I'm out alphaing you. That's when the camp counselor comes over and says, all right, guys, break it up. Tears the two of them apart. He's like, all right, so we're only doing this for 20 more minutes, but it looks like you two can't keep off of each other, so I'm going to be joining your group. Imagine how awkward this is. It is Emily, Brent, the emo kid, and a random camp counselor. So they do normal charades, right? And the entire time, the emo kid is like sneaking in punches to Brent's arm. He's like, ow. And when the camp counselor looks up, the emo kid puts his arms behind his back. And the emo kid's like, this isn't over, man. And then the emo kid walks over to Emily. He's like, tss, tss, Emily, tss. Emily's like, what? Do you think I'm more alpha? Shut up, kid. Emo kid's like, no. Okay, I'll just be direct. Do you want to go out with me? No! And the camp counselor was like, guys, silence while I'm doing charades. And Emily's like, dude, I don't want to go out with you. How many times do I need to tell you this? Emo kid's like, but I'm definitely more alpha. She's like, that's not a real thing. So the next day rolls around. It's Thursday. And that afternoon, there's no real activity. It's just known as like the soccer dance or whatever. Because the emo kid is like being a jerk Brent all day, but that's not anything new. And sure enough, it is the dance. And they're putting on normal songs. And Emily and Robin and Brent are all together like, dude. And Robin's like, dude, the emo kid is definitely going to try and get that slow song with you. Like, Brent, you got to swoop in right away. Because at this point, Brent and Emily were, like, unofficially a thing. They're only at camp for a week, so they're not going to make, like, a long-term relationship. Let's have kids, baby. Okay, you know what I mean. But sure enough, the slow song comes on. And Brent's like, oh my God. And Emily's like, quickly. And you can see the emo kid sprinting from the other side of the room. So Emily and Brent quickly like get together in the slow song, kind of like whatever. And Emily's standing there and she feels Brent being ripped off of him. And the emo kid grabs Brent, rips him off Emily and tackles him on the ground. And this is where the camp counselors are like, oh, okay, foul play. They go in, they grab the emo kid and they like run they take him off. They're like, all right, buddy, this is like your third strike and you are out. So they call up the parents of the emo kid. They say, your son can't come tomorrow. He's like fighting this one kid again and again and he won't stop. And so sure enough, the emo kid was picked up, taken away, and Brent and Emily finished off with a slow song together. The next day rolls around. It is Friday. It is only a half day where basically the parents come and watch a little like soccer presentation that all the kids have done. And by the end of it, right, most people are packing up. Brent and Emily are gone. And you remember the friend Robin from the beginning? one of the camp counselors and Robin were like friends or whatever, or like friendly, and the camp counselor's like, do you happen to know about that like emo looking kid? Like, do you happen to know what was up with him? And Robin's like, do I have a
Click on the video on screen right now. I know